Hi, Chuck. Hi, Chuck. Hi there, story chasers. Welcome back to Frankie's Stories, the monthly podcast where we dust off the forgotten tales, the wild underdogs, and the spectacles that make you go, wow. I'm Frankie, and today we're diving into the big top. No net required for the story of the circus that didn't just entertain the world. It reinvented the circus. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. Welcome. Grab your imaginary stilts and hold on to your popcorn because we're talking Cirque du Soleil. You know, that Canadian phenomenon that's been bending bodies, minds, and reality since 1984. No lions, no tigers, no bears, oh my, just pure human magic wrapped in costumes that look like they were designed by a fever dream fashion genius. Maybe like Dali, and set to the music that hits your soul like perfectly timed trapeze jam. Over 100 million people have seen their shows. They've grossed billions. They've got permanent homes in Las Vegas that feel like stepping into another dimension. And yet, it all started with a bunch of broke street performers in a tiny Quebec village, juggling fire and dreams on stilts. If that doesn't scream underdog to global icon, I don't know what does. Picture this. It's the late 1970s. Bess and Paul, a charming little village on the shores of St. Lawrence River in Quebec. No glitz arenas yet, just a bunch of eccentric artists doing what artists do, performing for pocket change, sleeping in vans, and dreaming bigger than their bank account allowed. Enter Gilles St. Croix, our first hero. Born in 1950 in La Serre, Quebec, Gilles was a street performer through and through. He toured with the legendary Bread and Puppet Theater from Vermont, got hooked on stilts, and decided, why not start my own crew? In 1979, he founded Les Échassiers, stilt walkers of Bess and Paul, jugglers, fire breathers, dancers, musicians, a ragtag circus of misfits entertaining locals with outrageous costumes and zero budget. Gilles was the spark. As he later joked, I always say Guy Liberté founded Cirque du Soleil, but I founded Guy Liberté. He is the father, I'm the grandfather. Classic Gilles. Now add Guy Liberté to the mix. Born in 1959 in Quebec City, Guy was the ultimate wanderer. Dropped out of college, hitchhiked across Europe playing accordion for coins, learned fire eating from street pros, and mastered stilt walking like it was his calling. He shows up in Bess and Paul around 1980, joins Les Échassiers, and together with buddy Daniel Gauthier, an early partner who later stepped back, they organized wild summer festivals called La Fête Foraine. Basically, a pop-up carnival of chaos and creativity. But here's where the magic ignites. 1984. Canada is gearing up to celebrate 450th anniversary of Jacques Cartier discovering the place. The Quebec government has art grants floating around. Guy and Gilles smell opportunity. To prove they're serious, Jill pulls the ultimate publicity stunt. He walks 56 miles on stilts from Baie-Saint-Paul to Quebec City. 56 miles on stilts. The guy basically tightrope walked the province's attention. It worked. They snag about 1.5 million in funding. Sources debate the exact figure, but it was life-changing. They launched the Grand Tour de Cirque du Soleil, their first official show. Animal-free, dramatic, beautiful. What a Guy names it Cirque du Soleil, which can be translated as Circus of the Sun. And the inspiration also came from the beautiful sunset he experienced in Hawaii. In his words, the sun symbolizes youth, energy, and strength. No pressure, right? The first tour, a bit rocky. Tent collapsed on day one. Classic startup drama. But it was a hit in Quebec City. By 1985, they hit Toronto. 1987, they reinvented Circus Storm's the Los Angeles Festival. Sell-outs, media frenzy. Europe by 1990. Suddenly, these Quebec kids aren't just surviving, they are redefining entertainment. So, what inspired them? Street performers taught them to grab attention fast. No animals, just raw human talent. They drew from global circus traditions, Moscow, Chinese acrobats, European avant-garde like Cirque Du Soleil, but ditched the three-ring chaos for something theatrical, story-driven, emotional. Franco Dragone, a brilliant Belgian director, came in for Nouvelle Experience in 1990 and supercharged it, turning acts into narratives with live music and 0 words needed, no language barrier, just wonder. Recognition came fast. The government grant was the launchpad, but it was the innovation and sheer greed that made it all possible. They bet everything on artistry over tradition, and the world caught the fever. Fast forward, the cirque isn't just touring, it's conquering. By the 90s, they had the formula. Big top tents that take days to build, 360-degree seating, and shows that feel like the dreams can high-five you. Some of the artists really come out, some of the performance, and can high-five you. It's just so amazing. So let's juggle a few legendary standouts. A few Cirque du Soleil shows that basically own the crown. The ones audiences can't stop raving about, and performers risk their necks to keep alive. Kicking things off is Mystère, the granddaddy that proved Cirque wasn't just a traveling circus with better lighting. Since 1993, at Treasure Island in Las Vegas, this pure theatrical fever dream has been running for over 30 years, with acrobats launching like human cannonballs, clowns causing funny chaos, and those moments that make your jaw drop on the floor. It planted roots in the desert and somehow made the whole street bloom. The show that quietly whispered, "We're not going anywhere," and it's still running. The same with another show, at Bellagio, since 1998. The aquatic masterpiece that feels like a witchcraft. A 1.5 million gallon pool becomes the stage, and suddenly performers are diving, swimming, flipping, and flying through water like it's just another element they personally mastered. It's poetry in motion, breathtaking, emotional, and yes, people straight up cried. I did. Alegre, another brilliant show in Spanish for joy, and baby, it delivers. This baroque, high energy, soul stirring spectacular toured the world for decades, inspired the movie, and recently got a fresh revival because apparently the planet is running low on wonder. and then there was Zumanity. Oh, the sensual side of Cirque Du Soleil. The show that proved that the Circus of the Sun had a naughty streak hiding under all the spandex and glitter. Premiering in 2003 at the New York Hotel and Casino on the Las Vegas Strip, Zumanity was Cirque's bold first foray into adult-only territory, billed as another side of Cirque du Soleil, or more deliciously, the sensual side. Created and directed by René Richard-Sieg and Dominique Champagne, it dished the family-oriented wonder for something far steamier, a cabaret-style celebration of human desire, eroticism, and unapologetic sexuality, all wrapped in circus's signature acrobatics, dance, and theatrical flair. I also want to note that the production obviously drew inspiration from Moulin Rouge, a worldwide known cabaret that we discussed in one of the episodes of Frankie's stories. You remember it, So, the name itself, Zumanity, was a cheeky portmanteau of zoo and humanity, hinting at the prime and animalistic passions we'll carry beneath our civilized smiles. Guy Liberté, ever the visionary, wanted something completely different from the poetic story-driven spectacles like Oh, au mystère. He saw an opportunity to explore edgier subject matter, love, lust, intimacy, and full spectrum of human connection, without the usual Cirque restraint. No grand narrative here. Instead, it was a playful, provocative review of seductive songs, sultry choreography, breathtaking aerial acts, and wickedly funny comedy sketches that left audiences blushing, laughing, and occasionally fanning themselves. Think contortionists twisting in ways that felt more bedroom than big top, aerialists performing gravity-defying duets that sizzled with chemistry, and costumes that celebrated the body with bold and revealing elegance. It ran for over 17 years, clocking more than 7,700 performances. 7,700 performances and entertaining millions before the pandemic brought the final curtain down in March 2020, and it never opened again. In that intimate theater, sitting just around 1,300, Zumanity created an electric, up-close vibe that traditional Cirque shows rarely matched. You weren't just watching human potential, you were feeling the heat in it. It was groundbreaking for the company. The first to say we can be sensual, explicit, and still unmistakably Cirque. Some nights it felt like high art burlesque, other like a joyful exploration of every shade of desire. And yes, it pushed boundaries, enough to make conservative viewers squirm while thrilling those who were ready to embrace the inner hedonist. I remember going to watch it with my aunt and uncle, and my uncle is very conservative, so he didn't appreciate it as much as me and my aunt, who were more open to art, those forms of art. In the grand tapestry of Cirque Du Soleil, humanity stands out as proof that circus could evolve beyond wonder into raw adult passion without losing its soul. Sadly gone now, but never forgotten. Humanity left behind a legacy of daring that still makes Vegas and the rest of us a little bolder, me for sure. And if you thought Cirque du Soleil knew how to honor human wonder, wait until you hear how they teamed up with two of the biggest music legends of all time, turning the Vegas Strip into a playground for the Beatles and the King of Pop. First came The Beatles' Love, the show that proved all you really need is love. And a whole lot of flips, twists, and psychedelic acrobatics. Premiering in 2006 in a custom-built theater in the Round at the Mirage, love was born for a heartfelt conversation between Guy Laliberté and George Harrison. With the full blessing of Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Yoko Ono, and Olivia Harrison, Apple Corps opened the vault. Directed by Dominic Champagne and featuring a soundtrack remixed by the legendary Sir George Martin and his son using the original Abbey Road tapes, the 90-minute wordless spectacle took audiences on a high-flying journey through the Fab Four's career. From the raw Cavern Club energy to the trippy Sgt. Pepper explosion and the rooftop concert spirit. Imagine trampoline artists bouncing across imaginary Abbey Road, aerialists floating dreamily to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, chaotic street scenes bursting with color during Get Back, and that electric goosebump moment when the whole theater feels the joy of all you need is love. Ring and Paul even showed up for the glittering premiere. Over its magnificent 18-year run, Love delivered more than 7,800 performances and welcomed over 11.5 million guests before taking its final bow in 2024. Fittingly on Ringer's birthday, July 7th, as the Mirage prepared for its next chapter. Then, just a few years later, Cirque doubled down on pop royalty with Michael Jackson 1, the electrifying homage that channels the King Pop's moonwalk, unmatched energy, and boundary-pushing vision. Premiering in 2013 at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, this show was directed and choreographed by Jamie King, who had actually danced on Michael's own Dangerous World tour. With a vibrant cast of 63 performers, it fuses gravity-defying acrobats, urban street dance, hip-hop fire, and cutting-edge visuals, including massive LED screens and soaring effects, all set to over 30 remastered hits like Billie Jean, Smooth Criminal, Beat It, and The Man in the Mirror. It doesn't impersonate, what's interesting that it doesn't impersonate Michael. It just celebrates the essence, the music, the movement, the magic, the message of unity and wonder. You get playful fairy tale moments and then some powerful street battles turned into poetry, aerial duets that sizzle with the same innovative spirit that Michael brought to every stage. Still thrilling audiences in 2026 with refreshed choreography and the run extended deep into the future. One has already passed 5,000 performances and millions of tickets sold, making it one of Cirque's biggest resident successes ever. That's interesting. And of course, there were multiple collaborations. They've partnered with everyone from MGM Resort and Disney, Drawn to Life at Disney Springs, to cruise lines, Cirque at Sea, and even James Cameron for Toruk, Avatar inspired. musicians, choreographers, designs from more than 50 countries. It's a global creative session. Their tour success was insane. Big top shows sell out in more than 300 cities across 6 continents. Resident Vegas shows alone pull in thousands nightly. 5% of the city's visitors at peak. Arena tours like Delirium or Totem pack stadiums. Over 100 million tickets sold lifetime. They've been the #1 grossing live entertainment tour more than once. Why? Because every show feels fresh, emotional, and worth the price of admission and souvenir program. No 2 nights are the same. Performers from everywhere bring their soul to the stage, and the adventure doesn't stop with the resident hits. Right now, in 2026, Cirque Du Soleil's big top tours are lighting up streets of North America and beyond. Lucia was recently enchanting audiences in Miami under the big top at Gulfstream Park, celebrating Mexican culture, mythology, and natural beauty with stunning visuals, live music, and acrobatics that literally incorporate water in ways you've never seen on tour before. I promise you. I've been there, I've seen it, it's amazing. So now it heads north to Philadelphia, Toronto, Ottawa, and a true cross-continental fiesta of wonder. But let's talk about the price of this wonder. Oh sure, it looks like pure magic up there, bodies twisting through the air like human confetti, synchronized flips that defy physics, and smiles brighter than spotlights. But behind the sequence and symphonies lies a job where break a leg isn't just showbiz slang. It's a strict occupational hazard. These artists train like Olympic athletes, yet the stats are scary. Injury rates that can outpace pro sports or even construction work, with acrobats racking up everything from pulled muscles and concussions to fractures and way worse. One wrong grip, one frayed wire, one split-second miscalculation, and suddenly the big top becomes a very expensive ER in best cases. Take Sarah Guillot in 2013, a French aerialist who plunged 94 feet during car in Las Vegas, where her safety wire shredded mid-performance. Or Jan Arnaud in 2018, a veteran who slipped from the double rings in Volta, falling 20 feet onto the stage right in front of the audience. More recently, aerialist Maria Konfektova took a scary 15-foot tumble from a hoop in Portland, walking away with multiple fractures. And let's not forget the heartbreaking training accident that claimed young acrobat Alexander Jur back in 2009. These aren't just headlines. They're stark reminders that even with world-class safety measures, the circus live dances with danger every single night. It leaves you in awe for sure. So here's to the performers who chase that breathtaking thrill, pushing the human body to its literal limits. They're part athlete, part artist, and a little bit daredevil, proving that the most spectacular shows come with the greatest stakes. Just don't try this at home, folks, unless your insurance is really good, which I doubt. What makes Cirque du Soleil so special? It's not just circus updated version. It's a whole new species. No animals ever from day one. They said, let's celebrate human potential instead of training beasts. Ethical, yes. Revolutionary, absolutely. Focus shifts entirely to the artist. More than 4,000 employees from more than 50 countries at their peak, all turning athleticism into art. Second, it's theater meets circus. No ringmaster yelling, instead continuous live music, brilliant musicians, elaborate story arcs, even if wordless, costumes that are wearable sculptures, kilometers of fabric dyed in-house, and sets that defy physics. Think 360-degree immersion, audience interaction, and lighting that feels magical. Then there is an element of the global fusion. They pull from every culture, Chinese contortion, African dance, European clowning, ingenious storytelling, and remix it with modern tech. No language needed, the emotion hits universal. And last but not the least, innovation as oxygen. They invent rigging, set up the equipment for the aerial performances, moving stages, hello to cars moving platform, and safety tag that lets artists push limits. Diversity in the creative room creates creative friction. Ideas clash, brilliance emerges. As one insider put it, it's not consensus, it's tension that sparks genius. It's sensory overload done elegantly, provoke the senses, evoke emotions, invoke imagination. Traditional circuses had elephants and cotton candy. Cirque gives you goosebumps and the story that lingers for weeks. So why in 2026 with streaming, VR, and a million distractions does Cirque still pack houses, revive classic like Allegri, and launch new wonders like Echo, Auna, and whatever is coming in the big top next? Because in the chaotic world, we crave wonder. Real humans defy gravity right now in front of you. Isn't that amazing, Chuck?
Thank you so much. This was a great segment, and it definitely makes me want to head out and see Cirque du Soleil. I mean, wow. Thank you so much, Frankie. And,
Thank you. Thank you, Chuck.
Listeners, thank you for being here for Frankie's Stories and the New American Dream radio show, streaming live on Revolution Radio and the New American Dream radio show YouTube channel. So glad to have you here tonight. I hope you'll be back next week and every week. And well, we always have a good show. I've been doing this since 2011. So, yeah, but only the last year or so we've started having video, and we're so lucky to have Frankie as a guest. All right. Thanks, everyone. It's been a great show, and good night.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Frankie's Stories. See Nelson, I see you. No, Mike.